Hello and welcome to this video with BELA, joining me, Ben, DivKid, on the DivKid Discussion stage at Machina Bristronica 2025. We talk about their upcoming module Trails, as well as some of their background. Let's get into it. BELA, how are you?
Thank you very much. Yeah, doing very well, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks. All good.
So, you're only part of the team here, we should say. That's maybe a nice place to start.
Yeah. So we're a team that there's in total there's 8 of us all working towards BELA in various different ways. But today we've got myself who my name's Robert, and I do mostly kind of product design and management of the products as well, so getting them out on the market, all that side. And then Giulio Moro.
I do more of some of the firmware side of things, some of the ideation, I guess, and we're a small company, so we all end up doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then we also have a Dan Benetos, the hardware designer there sitting in the front row. So yeah.
One thing that caught my attention, because obviously Eurorack welcomes everybody from different technical, scientific, mathematical backgrounds, or musicians that then find their way over electronics and they kind of learn on the job. You mentioned that you were a team of musicians.
Yeah, we all are musicians in some form or other. Yeah.
So what do you all play? I'm always interested in what people's backgrounds are.
I mean, there's actually a huge mix of musical genres across the team, from like classical, like one of the members plays in an orchestra, to more like jazz funk with these two.
Very traditional electric guitar playing for me.
And
none of that. I mean, I did have a keen interest in keyboards, vintage keyboards, maybe 10, 15 years ago, but never actually got to play keyboards. I just purchased them and restore them in various shapes and then put them in a shack behind the house, and they're still there. But apart from that, I just play guitar.
I think it's interesting, and it's nice in a team when there is that really varied background.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to being able to develop interesting things that then other people that have a varied background will be interested in.
Absolutely.
You're all based at Queen's College, Queen's University in London?
Queen Mary, University of London. It's one of the campuses of University of London. That's where the company started. That was 10 years ago, though, and now it's moved on out of the university.
So is that a case of all studying there and forming ideas?
Yeah, we all met there in a research group in a lab called the Augmented Instruments Lab. And
that sounds interesting. The Augmented Instruments Lab.
It's a very interesting place where, you study all kinds of things to do with musical performance and musical instruments and digital technologies and how they can be used in the design of new musical instruments or augmented acoustic instruments.
Because I'm aware that this sensor technology isn't the first time you've kind of been developing these tools in terms of these BELA modules that now exist.
That's correct. Yeah. So the company itself started out making like a kind of maker board, like a programmable board that was designed for other people to build their own instruments around. And so it's basically just like a little programmable computer that's particularly good at sound and sensors, and has like kind of a relatively easy tool chain. Like it was kind of designed for thinking about like kind of art students, or maybe like on new media programs, who have a technological bent but aren't necessarily trained engineers.
Okay.
So it's like we try to make it accessible to that type of creative person, that they can go and create embedded hardware, but without having to
learn embedded hardware.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the first product that we released, a board specifically for that.
So was that Eurorack at that point, or not Eurorack?
No, that wasn't Eurorack at all. So it's much more like a kind of Arduino board or Raspberry Pi, that kind of world. So it wasn't in the Eurorack world yet. But we were always, from the very beginning, intrigued by what was happening. This was 10 years ago, and I think Eurorack was just starting to...
Yeah, I remember the time quite well.
Yeah.
Was there a catalyst? Was there something that kind of caught your attention?
Well, we wanted to go to Superbooth because we thought these are like-minded people.
Yeah.
We should go and we should have a booth at Superbooth and just show our maker board. And in order to do so, we thought we should make a programmable module. So it was basically just taking our board and putting it in a Eurorack format so people can run their code in a module. So
And
so we did that. And actually, the first time we went to Superbooth, we didn't have any kit at all. And Jason Lim from Instruo very kindly lent us a kind of prototype Instruo case for to beef out our stall. And
that's interesting. So what's the time frame between that, putting your technology behind a panel, finding your Eurorack, going to the first Superbooth? How do we then get to Gliss?
Well, I would say, Gliss is probably the first proper Eurorack module that we did. It took us a bit of time to understand where we could actually build something that would be useful for the Eurorack world. And I think maybe...
and was that a very specific goal of not just to build something for yourselves, but finding your place in and amongst everything else that's out there?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we're all obsessed about how digital instruments can behave like acoustic instruments, and how you can get all that kind of nuance of gesture that you have with an acoustic instrument in the digital world. And so that's where we thought maybe we can contribute something that gives that kind of expressive control to the machine, And so that's where, with Gliss, the idea is basically it's like a multifunction touch controller and CV recorder. And the idea is you can just take your favorite parameters in your system and break them out to this really, nice to play.
Obvious question is maybe the one that's grabbing people's eye behind me on the screen. How do you go from 4 HP to whatever HP Trails is?
Yes, it's 22 HP with a 4 HP output unit that can it can either be 3U or we have a 1U version as well. So here.
Okay, so mount the outputs either side, or 1U.
Or you can have them above and out the way of the playing surface. So.
Did this, excuse my naive questions, but did Trails come from this? Seeing multiple Gliss in a box, that's quite an appealing thing just by itself.
That definitely was part of our thinking, and we're still actually considering whether to do like a proper standalone version of this with our own case and MIDI output and stuff. But yeah, that was definitely seeing the self-containedness of the 5 Gliss together inspired us on.
Because I find with controllers like Gliss, kind of 2 makes more sense. Both hands on both sides of the case.
Yeah.
Like more than one is really kind of a good idea, I think, a lot of the time.
Yeah, lots of people use it like that. Yeah. One down either side of the case, or there's also a 1U version, so you can have them along the middle if you have that type of case. And
this has been seen a little bit, I think, online and publicly.
It's been seen a little bit online, yeah. So maybe first it's just worth saying that we're just kind of in the final stages of the development of Trails, and straight after Bristronica, we're going to be going into beta testing with a handful of people who are really going to be putting it through its paces. And so, it's still at the final point of the evolution of the module. It's not quite the final form, but Trails is it's a 4-channel device, and you can see on the left-hand side here we have 4 inputs and 4 channel buttons here. And each of these 4 channels has an X and a Y output, which is CV, and a gate output as well. So all down this right-hand side.
So X and Y seems relatively obvious. X position, Y position on the grid. Where does the gate come from?
The gate comes from when you use this as a sequencer. So basically, you're able to take the paths that you draw here and split them up into a number of steps.
Okay.
And then send gate out from there. And we also have pattern generation on the unit itself as well.
Okay.
And so just now I'll show you all the 4 channels are active. So what I draw on the touch sensor here is getting stored in the buffers for all the 4 channels, the same thing. And you can record up to about 30 seconds here or something
Okay.
on each of the channels. But
Are those gestures looped? So do you define a time base in your first movement? Are they free running? Are they clockable?
they're clockable, yeah. So just now, without a clock, it's all free running LFOs, and they can also be one-shot triggers. So
Okay.
we have the inputs for each of the channels where you can send trigger messages and you can draw XY envelopes. Or in this case, without a clock, they're just free running. But in the demo where we'll make a bit of music, it's all clocked and it's all synced to the clock. But here I'll just show you. So this is now I'm just drawing on one channel. So I'll draw something different. I'll switch to the second channel. Draw something again here. Third channel. And the fourth channel. And so see, these are all like animated on top of each other. Each with their own loop length. Now you see there's the LED flashes to show you when the loop's restarting.
Okay.
And in this case, you also get a gate output when the loop
Okay.
restarts.
That's going to be a nice mechanism for driving over, say, sequences.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe it makes sense to actually get some sound at this point.
We can
So
just stare at it for 5 minutes. I'm quite happy. I don't know about anyone else. I'm quite happy watching it.
Maybe you can move to meter here.
Oh, yeah,
you can
so I
have
can
a look,
show this
an overview,
here, yeah,
an
actually,
overview of the different tracks.
Now that we're talking about the loop length, so we basically have these different views, different states, we're called. So we were in the first one, which is all about inputting the paths, drawing the paths. Then you can transform them in different ways, which we'll look at. And in this case, it's called meter view. And here what you're seeing is the timeline for each of the channels. This is the playhead of each of the channels. So here you can see they're out of sync all with each other. I can restart them with the play button so they all will fall into sync. But here you can also move them. Actually, it's better if I just draw the same thing on all channels. So now they'll all be in sync with each other like this. And what you can do now is you can offset the phase of the 4 channels. And now if I come back, you see that the colors for each of the different channels are following that same path that you drew, but one after the other.
Can you manipulate the time? So now this is going. Is there like a kind of global rate to really bring them?
You can, yeah. You can speed it up and slow it down. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, which you do. And here, you can slow it right down. So yeah, here. That's
I like a really glacial shift.
Yes. I know your modulation modules have these incredibly
Really slow.
long. Yeah.
Great. Let's hear it with the patch.
Yeah. Let's hear it with the patch.
I could stare at it, but we can.
Yeah, I'll leave it going so you can. Sorry, I'll bring it up here. So what's happening here is I have pitch this is a free voice setup, and one of the voices I have pitch here on the x-axis and filter cutoff on the y-axis. So I'm just opening the filter as I move along in the pitch space, and I have another voice. I'll do that for.
Is the quantization of pitch happening in the module or in a quantizer?
In the module. So sorry, I didn't show that. So you have the scale button here. And this just brings up a 2-octave keyboard here.
Okay.
So I can change the quantizations. Now this is just octaves.
I really like performing with note selections. I think that's quite an abstract concept, but not playing notes, but playing the potential of what notes might happen in a given pattern.
Absolutely.
I really enjoy.
And there's lots of fun to be had with playing around with this. And so that's per channel. So you can have different quantizations on each of the 4 channels. So now I'll switch to the next channel. So yeah, now I have these 4 loops going all together, and now on the bar at the bottom here, what we can do now is we can apply a low pass filter to all the movement of the path.
Okay, so a slew limiter lag effect.
Exactly, which kind of just takes any fast movements get kind of squashed down.
And is that pre or post quantizing?
That is pre-quantizing.
Okay.
So here you'll see if I on the and now I'll just show one of the transformations that's possible in this next mode. So now this next mode adapt is all just about like altering the stuff that's already there, the paths you've already drawn. So in this case, you can just move in the XY space the whole things that you've drawn.
Almost
here.
like kind of putting the pin in them and dragging them around.
Exactly. So yeah, here I can drag them all down here.
Does that happen before the slewing as well?
That happens.
I don't actually know.
I think it happens after the slew.
I think-
My thinking was almost like on a keyboard, you can turn on a lot of glide, hit a low note, and just let things slowly shift. You could move from one corner to the other, but have that slow moving kind of filtered.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, in this case, so there, what I actually did is I recorded that transformation as well. So you can,
Okay.
you see it's actually moving down the whole thing and now moving back up. And now it can go back and we can actually alter the low pass filter here. So the transformation's still applied, but now you've got all that faster movement back in the signal. So yeah, lots of fun to be had. That's just a kind of there's no temporal quantization happening here, but we can split up with the steps button here. We're now going to start chopping up those paths.
On an external clock or
Yes,
internal
I
clock?
have an external clock coming in here, and
So does that work like having a sample and hold over the whole out?
that's
Or more like track and hold, you're letting them through until you decide to chop them up.
that is exactly what's happening. Yeah. So we basically have a sample and hold on each of the paths, and you can decide, how many sample and holds how many instances you want over the course of the path. So you can say that like, I'll show you. I'll just draw something fresh here. I'm gonna actually just concentrate on one channel. So in this case, if I hold down the steps button, it brings up this menu, and this is telling me, this is my bar length at the bottom, so how many ticks of my clock I want to make up the bar, and then this is how many divisions I want in that bar.
Okay.
So just now it's set to 8, but it could be anything you want, 16, 12, 6, 5. But yeah, I'll just show you. So now we've got a gate coming out for every instance of the sample and hold. So now this is 2 bars worth. Okay? but now on the bar here, instead of applying a filter, it applies it's like a density control of gates.
Okay.
So we use like Euclidean kind of muting of steps. So you. So at this end, you have all the steps active. Halfway, you've only got half of them, and right down to one.
So it's like the fill parameter or the amount of active steps in a Euclidean.
Yeah. So yeah, just that in itself is a lot of fun. And again, this is just one channel we've been looking at. So I can now go and draw something else here.
Can you control this kind of idea of density for all the channels at the same time?
Absolutely, yeah. So if
I like the idea of in a performance we have to make the whole thing pull back or push forward.
Yeah, so it's just a question of what channels I have active here.
So it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4, any combination.
So in this case, if I have the 2 channels active, which is what we're hearing now, you'll hear. So, yeah, fun rhythmic playground there. And yeah, I can bring in another voice we have here. And so, up until now, I've just been recording. So like, it's always been one touch event. So like, as long as my finger's down, it's recording the loop basically.
Okay.
But you can also play, with this record button here, you can arm the record and then play like on and off
Kind
notes.
of punch in.
Yeah. So I'll just do that now. Sorry, I need to put the filter on as well. Okay. So these loops are all going together now. I'm gonna overwrite the first 2 channels now, something else. And now if I switch back to this meter view here, which is this is where it's all about like timing and stuff. Now here you can do like fun phasing stuff, like Steve Reich kind of stuff. So
Still on the pulse.
still on the pulse. So here what I'll do, I'm just gonna put 1 channel active, so it's the first channel. And now I'm just gonna shift it by 1 pulse forward.
Can we just hear the first 2 channels as you do that? So I can just hear one against the
Yeah.
other?
So this is the first 2 channels here. Yeah, so they're both playing the same thing just now. And then here I'll just shift it by 1 pulse. 2 pulse, it's like kind of clapping music if you know that.
Yep.
Steve Reich. And then I can bring them back in sync with the play button.
That's just where I was going in thinking it would be quite nice to have like a 2 oscillator bass line And just occasionally, performatively, like one kick out and it sounds
Just
euphonic for a
just
moment,
knocking them out.
and then pull back.
Yeah. And yeah, what you can also do here is at the top of you can set the in and out points of your loop. So I'll just do it. So here, yeah, it's just taking a small. And I can do that on the different channels.
And you can still play around with the density of Euclidean rhythm within the whole length or within small loops.
Absolutely, yeah. So if I just go back to the input mode here, now I can still have density control. Yeah, and then just open these up. Bring them back in sync. So yeah, it's really we've shown a lot of what it can do with a clock. So quite versatile.
As it gets more complicated, the more that you're adding, the more manipulation to the pattern you're adding. Is there any kind of undo or reset or clear or save states, for example?
Yes, there is, absolutely. So we have an undo button here, which basically lets you go back one step.
Is that for the whole thing as a kind of global module or track by track?
It's track by track,
okay.
Right? On your transformations?
It's transformation by transformation.
Okay.
So if you apply a transformation right now, like I don't know, you apply this rotation here, you record that, and then I don't know, you move something down there, up here, over there, you record that, then you can undo each of those in order. You can do the first one, undo the second one, and you can also redo them with shift undo, so you can sort of build up and scale down and then go back where you were.
Yeah.
Undo and redo becomes a performance function.
Yeah. So
that's what. Yeah.
What we had in mind there was to be able, you get your sequence running, you get your initial modulation running, and then you modify that, but you can always go back to that initial one after all the transformation you've done.
Yeah.
So I think we've all been there where you get really giddy about these things and it's really good. You kind of do something and go, oh, I've messed this up.
Yeah.
And it's often really hard to go back, but just having a mechanism to just jump back and forward
just quickly jump back. Yeah,
it's really cool.
There are a couple more places you can interact with that. I want to bring that up a bit. You can perform live on top of this, and then it goes back to looping the sequence. So you're non-destructively playing on top of that.
Yeah.
Or you can also record if there's a part you don't like. You can just overdub that little part there and keep the rest of the sequence the same. And then over here, I think, is that where we have them?
The ratchet controls there.
Yeah, right. So you get ratchet. It's another way you can animate the sequence.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So can you save and recall?
Yes, you can. You can. So I'll show you. We have a menu system. You just hold down the Shift button and press with 2 fingers, and it brings up this menu. And we tried to make it as so you basically don't need a manual. You can just you know exactly what happens. Because I think one lesson we learned from Gliss is that we packed a load in there, but in order to do so, we had to basically have like a kind of color-coded menu, which
Well, I was really happy when you were talking about how long the bar is and how many pulses are in the bar, and it just said 8, really
Yeah.
big. It's not on a tiny little
Yeah, yeah.
screen, just 5 steps, 8 steps.
Absolutely.
And that, you can see it scrolling along.
Yeah, and here,
It's
so
way
yeah,
easier.
if you just hold your finger down, it will tell you what that menu item does.
Right.
So there's various things. So here's like save, load. Here's CV ranges, because you can configure the ranges of the X and Y for every channel here. Don't know if
So would that
can see
then
that
be
very well.
pre-quantizer as well?
That's pre-quantizer, yeah.
No, that's sorry.
That's pre-quantizer.
That's after, in the sense that you get these are 3 volts. You get 3 volts of quantizations. You get 5 volts. You get 5 volts of quantization. But the pitch is going to be correct all the time.
That's
Yeah.
where I was going. You're not going to take a quantized bit of information and kind of stretch.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. So I mean, the idea with the configurable voltage ranges is that, yeah, like say, like in this case where I had like the bass voice and I have pitch along here, you can just have 1 octave. You just have 1
Yeah.
volt from here, and then if you want to really be able to open up your filter, you can have 0 to 10 volts on the y-axis.
And do those things all save as well? So in one particular mode or save state, if you like.
They all save, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And so yeah, you're saving. You can just save like that and recall it in the same way.
I'm really into
So-
kind of coming out of the room and saying to my partner, like, I've just drawn the perfect sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
Come and listen to this red squiggle.
That's it.
It's really cool.
It's very inviting, I think, to have it in the. When you're trying to explain to someone how the system works as well, it's very nice to let them just like try and wiggle about on the touchpad and hear some interesting results. And
Yeah. Anything visual as well for bits of workshops that I do and various things. It just, that connection is way, it's why I always have a Mordax data in the case a lot of the time. It's not always that important, but I think a lot of us can connect sight and sound.
Yeah.
And this plays into that very well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not quite ready. So I won't press for.
Yeah, we were hoping to have it ready. I mean, yeah, hope's the last
how
to
things
die.
go.
Yeah. Now we're going to go into beta testing for the next like 4 to 6 weeks, and at the end of that, we should have the firmware completely smoothed out, all the little wrinkles we have. And there's the hardware has been quite a challenge with this module, I have to say, because we're maybe a little bit ambitious in there. So there's still a couple of creases to iron out in the hardware, but it's actually behaving. I mean, I'm not going to explain why I'm running the whole rack off a battery and not plugging it into the mains.
Okay.
but you can imagine.
Are you working towards a price? Have you a price in mind at this point?
So we're thinking in the UK it would be around about 400, including VAT. So that'd be the retail price. Maybe a little bit lower we could go. We're gonna, somewhere between, around about 400.
Maybe do we need the extra feature to justify that?
There is one extra mode which we haven't shown, which is this basically allows you to take over the 8 output channels here, so your X and Y, and it's just like a fader bank basically.
Okay.
And in this case, it's the idea is that you have like a kind of macro controller. You have 8 memory slots along the bottom of the 8 positions here. I'm just quickly drawing something in all of them. And then what you can do is you can interpolate between these 8 values and have them as a kind of macro controller. It's the idea that if it depends on your rack, but sometimes for maybe more experimental stuff that just being able to change 8 parameters and move from scene to scene.
And you can control that interpolation time, how long it takes to get from one to the other?
Absolutely, you can, yeah. So the idea just now, this part is mocked up really rather than fully functional.
I think you actually get outputs out of that. I
we
haven't
get
tried it.
outputs, yeah. But
Can you sequence between them?
You can indeed. So let me show. If I take the output from this Gliss module here and put it into clock input here. So this is basically just cycling through. So you can use any CV signal to do this.
Okay, so CV addressed position in those
Yeah.
1 to 8.
Yeah, exactly. So what would like a ramp from 0 to 5 volts or something?
Well, I don't know. I
probably.
mean, now it's 0 to 10, but I guess that would
Yeah.
be
Split
that'd
whatever
be
voltage
the
into 8
configurable.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that will let you, you could use a ramp generator, or you could use like another sequencer even,
Yeah, you start wave shaping the source that's playing with that. You're playing with player direction and bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, so we thought that was a useful way to make use of these 8 CV outputs as well. That's still kind of related to touch control.
And do they go through the quantization as well?
They go through the quantization and the voltage range scaling, so you can have it.
Nice. Give me big information so I don't have to look at tiny little screens. It genuinely, when I saw that 8, kind of this bit, I was like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
If you're going to put a screen on, I'd rather you make the screen really quite big.
As big as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it idiot proof, and I'm an idiot most of the time. Like, Make it suitable.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
People should check you out on social media, of course, and come and see the booth.
Yes, please do. Yeah, we're here all tomorrow, obviously. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to